You are listening to Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. I am your host, Shanel Scott. I'm a psychic medium and energy healer who has been supporting those on a spiritual journey for over a decade. I'm your tour guide into the world of the unknown, showing you that the magic of the universe is at your fingertips. I believe spirituality is simple and fun, and this podcast will make it easily accessible, giving you the real talk on all things divine and spiritual, helping you to step into the flow. Manifesting your dreams because we all deserve to be living our best life. Are you ready for an adventure? Hello, Sunshines, and welcome to another episode of Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. Here to take you on a spiritual journey, to guide you and support you on this journey we called life. My name is Shanel, and I am your host and your spiritual tour guide. And today I thought, let's do a little energy update. I think the energies have been shifting a lot lately, and it's important just to do a little check-in. So how are you? How are you really doing? We are on the other side of a new moon and a solar eclipse that definitely wreaked a little havoc, I feel like, with everybody's energy. Moon stuff will often, full moon, new moon stuff will often make me really tired. This weekend, I think I could have slept the entire weekend away and been okay with that. I was that exhausted. And not necessarily from what was just happening in life. It definitely felt like it was an energetic, like I need to rest and I need to take care of myself. And I really honored that. How have you been feeling with all these energy shifts? So let's just kind of like rewind a little bit to kind of put into perspective where we are. And then we'll talk about the good stuff. The last probably year and a half has been a push on healing. Not that that's not always a push, it is, but there has been this really big push to clear up things that we have been holding on to for far too long. Things that have been weighing us down, that we have been carrying the baggage for, and so willingly carrying the baggage for. And it's this piece of like, the universe was kind of like, put up or shut up. Like, it's time to do the work, or shut up and just live your miserable life, and we're done helping you. They're never done. But that's kind of the feeling that it had. It really was this energy of like, what is it that you keep on saying that you want to clear, and let's do the work and get rid of it. Let's do the work and clear it out. Are you ready to do that? So we've been pushed over and over and over again over this last year and a half or so, and kind of even more over the last 6 months. But it's interesting. Just before we hit this new moon and this eclipse season, we really came into this place where the universe was like, okay, you've done it. And this wasn't of, okay, it's finished, let's go. It's really this energy of like, we've given you the lessons, you have chosen to learn them. Now it is time to invoke them in your day-to-day life, to really use them. Certain things take a lot longer. I was talking about boundaries today with a friend, and I set some boundaries a long time ago that really started a healing journey for me of empowerment and standing in my own energy. But it's been a long haul to get to that place. And that was it was really slow for a long period of time. And then all of a sudden I hit a point where it was like, okay, we need to speed this up now. We need to take on this lesson. We need to do the work. We need to keep going, blah, 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 blah. And it just felt like so speedy. So that's where we are. So think about the things that you've been really working on over the past year and a half, the past 6 months, even the past 6 weeks. What are the things that you've really like embraced? What are the lessons that you've had? But it's even feels like bigger than that, in the sense that also the answers have come to me. So I've had this thing, and again, not just me, I've seen this kind of my community, my circles, all those things. That the answers that we were looking for have kind of been like, whoo, here you go. You've learned this. This is where this comes from. This is what we're doing. So the healing process is still happening. It's just not happening in the same capacity that it was happening in. The lessons are kind of there, and now we're just kind of moving through those lessons. We're moving through really kind of putting them into our life, using them, really honoring them, all of those things. So it's been huge, huge in shifting. So have you been able to acknowledge the lessons, and do you have the answers that you are looking for so that you can move forward? Okay, I feel like that's a really big piece of the puzzle. So really take the time and acknowledge that. And, look behind you and see how far you've come. Because that's huge. We don't often look behind ourselves and acknowledge how far we've come. I'm saying this right now to make my own self accountable because somebody called me out on it recently. They just said, like, do you realize how far you've come? And I was like, yeah, well, she's like, no, please turn around and look, because it's so significant and it's so powerful to do that work of acknowledging and having gratitude. Huge. Okay, so we hit this eclipse. We hit this new moon. We're in this kind of new energy portal. What I have seen happening, and some may have started to experience this over the last 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a little bit more. It feels like the energy's been really slowly seeping in on this one, but it's kind of like, boom, the message the message from last week's weekly oracle card reading was so significant. So much so that I messaged a girlfriend to say, hey, happy Monday. And I was like, a few aha moments. And one of those was like, holy crap, the eclipse portal is like pretty massive. And she was like, oh yeah, this is the message I got. And I'm like, oh my God. And I hadn't told her, she hadn't seen it. I had posted my card of the day, which she may have seen, but I was still editing my weekly oracle card reading. So she hadn't seen it yet. And it was the same message. So I feel really pushed to share this message with all of you as well. And that is this message of really stepping into our spiritual gifts and our divine connection. Again, this has been a message that's been going on for quite some time. We keep on hearing it. We keep on hearing the importance of it. But it seems to have really kind of stepped up and ramped up. For me, over the last couple of weeks, there's been this acknowledgement of this new channeling ability that's coming through for me, of handing over my vocal cords to my guides to be able to allow them to speak, which I'm not going to lie, I'm still a little freaked out about it. And even just talking about it right now, my throat is getting sore and I know my spirit guides want to step in and talk to you guys. But there is this piece of like releasing control to let them have my vocal cords to speak feels really kind of crazy and kind of out there. It just feels like it is kind of odd and, feeling unusual. This will definitely take a little time to get used to. Grateful for the gift, but again, it's a little much to take in sometimes, but I'm really grateful for the opportunity and for the awareness that that's what's happening. It's funny because a girlfriend who I do some EFT work with was like, what's that? And I'm like, I don't know. It feels like every time I'm speaking the truth, it comes forward. But now I realize it's that my guide's wanting to share information and to talk, and I need to just be quiet for a second. So I'm just going to do a tap in with them because they are clearly here and ready to talk to you. So we're just going to allow them to speak up. They're just beyond awareness that there is this inner knowing that is deep right now. This awareness of what is coming up, how it's showing up. And it can be really simple, and it can be this building block factor they're showing me how, like, they started showing me something back in August, and they've continued to show me until I've kind of understood it. And I feel like there's still more to come on it, but they are just slowly showing me the pieces that I need to know. They're so funny. They're like, patience, my dear. We are a society, we are a being that wants instant gratification, and they're reminding us that patience is really important in the process right now, that each step has healing and purpose, and you have to experience each step before the next step. They're like, you need to assimilate it and integrate it and feel it and to use it. And each time you do that, it is awakening something else, awakening something that brings you to the next level. That tells spirit, the greater source, that you're ready for the next thing. Believing in yourself and believing in the power, trust is really key to all of this right now. When things started to come up for me, as you can hear it, but also just the things I was being shown, I was like, huh? What? And it felt really foreign to me. And I was like, how am I supposed to do this? And how am I not supposed to feel crazy, kind of thing? I always swore I didn't want to be the crazy girl, but I'm totally that person, and I embrace it completely because it's not crazy. It's awesome. But they're like, the powers we are sharing with you are things that you have already known, things that you already possess, and that you have just forgotten in this very physical being that you are in. When you were lighter, when you were more open and aware, present, connected, you were able to do these things with ease. They were natural to you. And now that you are weighted in this physical body, they have become harder for you to access. But we are showing you slowly to be able to reawaken the parts that need to be addressed and to be used again. There is this push to stand in truth and integrity, to acknowledge what we are doing, what we are healing, what we are moving through. This lack of tolerance for BS, lying, inauthenticity. When people aren't standing in integrity and in truth, it rubs us the wrong way, and it's really hard to contend with. When we see people not stepping up to their potential, same thing. But also when we see some of those behaviors like bullying or abuse or control, those things are really hard to see at the moment, as well as we are moving into this shift to release some of those more negative, lower energy kind of things. So, they're just reminding us to really raise up in this power of joy and presence, to really be present in yourself and your connection to the divine, to other sources, that this connection to the earth, to the heavens, to source, to each other, to the knowledge and to the wisdom that we have access to is incredibly powerful on the journey that we have forward. You have the choice. You always have the choice. And they are hopeful that you choose to stand in your own power and to really be able to express yourself freely. That feels really big saying that. there is this expression of self that is so key and so important. Being ourselves, trusting in ourselves, knowing and believing in the power that we have within, the answers, the gifts we have to share. So many things, so many things. So I'm going to leave it there because that feels like a good place to stop. My wish or my hope for you is that you can be really present to be able to see the path, the direction, the messages, to be able to witness new abilities arising, or just the ability to access those gifts that you already have with more intensity and awareness, to be able to access both quickly and easily. There is definitely this speed up. So use it by tapping into your intuition, tapping into source, and really allowing yourself to understand and see what it is that you need to know in this moment, because the universe has your back. Totally has your back and wants to take you to the next level. So let's do it. Let's do it together. Are you ready? Okay. Again, I'm going to leave it right there. I will see you guys again next week for our final Halloween podcast. I know this one wasn't very Halloween-y, but let me see if I can find something good. Or is there something that you want me to talk about that's very Halloween-y next week? I don't know. Let me know. Drop me a comment, send me a DM, send me an email. Totally love hearing from you. So thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing with me today, for being on my spiritual journey and allowing me to be your spiritual tour guide. From my heart and soul to yours. Until the next time. Bye now.